push the record button. Here you go. Giving the microphone to you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sasha, for organizing everything. And yeah, thank you for following these startup visa activities in all over Japan since I don't know when. Yeah, so let me start my presentation. This is the very first official day that we can talk about what Shibuya does. So thank you everybody for joining. So my name is Miho Tanaka, and I'm currently the startup visa lead in Shibuya. So we are going to talk about how to get startup visa in Shibuya today. Okay, so within the the Shibuya actually support a 1-year startup visa for entrepreneurs who wants to come to Japan. Previously, Tokyo had startup visa actually, but it was only 6 months, and within the 6 months, we cannot do anything. It's still too short. So Shibuya started providing 1-year startup visa. And then this is what you need to do within the 1 year if you come from abroad. We have to find a housing, and also we have to find an office, we have to get cell phone, and we have to enroll social insurances and renew visa, incorporation, bank account, so many things. And then people are transferred around. So like each processes is attached to different specialists. So basically, to get everything done within a year, we have to see at least 7 people. Real estate agencies, but they have different division for housing and offices, and also social security attorney, judicial scriveners, administrative scriveners, which is also known as an immigration specialist, and also banker, lawyer, and often they say no English, or there will be additional fee for English, or some lawyer might say it will cost about 1 million Japanese yen to incorporate your business, which is too expensive for me. And also many of them say like that's not my expertise. And also some lawyer or some scrivener say that my early charge will be $300 for paperwork. And these are all expensive. But if you're coming from abroad, of course, like we don't know the average cost for these procedures. So I wanna help that. So let's start with startup visa. And who can apply for the startup visa first? Eligibility is basically anyone with scalable business idea. And the basic criteria are first, 5 million yen Japanese yen capital investment within 12 months. And also you will need to have a dedicated office space, which is about 100,000 yen per month in Tokyo. And you have to have that office space within 12 months to apply for the next visa, which is business manager visa. And Shibuya targets mainly 6 industries: health, medical, welfare, 1, 2, environment, energy, 3, food, agriculture, forestry, fishery, 4, information technologies. Most of the applicants are, I think, information technologies. And 5, culture art, because it's Shibuya, and then 6, fashion. And everything, all this detail of this target area is in the official page. So you can access to the official page. You can just Google Shibuya visa, then it will be on the top. So this is eligibility, and your competitors will be existing businesses in Shibuya, in Tokyo, and also Japan. And also, since Shibuya is very popular, so the other startup visa applicants could be your competitors as well. So please create a great business plan for that. Frequent, frequently asked questions. So do I have to reside in Shibuya? So many people ask this question. And if that's possible, please, because you have to get all of these procedures done to get started your startup activities. For example, there is a card called My Number card, which is like a ID card for all the citizens in Japan. And also you have to have a certificate of residence and personal stamp certificate, which is necessary to incorporate your business here. And also you have to enroll pension insurance, health insurance, so that you can cover your medical fee. and also bank accounts, of course. And if everything is in Shibuya, we can support. But if it's, for example, if you're living in, let's say, Edogawaku, then you have to go to Edogawaku office for these procedures. So I cannot go there every day. So it's easier to support you if you're residing in Shibuya. If you're residing outside of Shibuya, I just need to let you know you have to get these. Then like you can show the message to the maybe city officers, then get these done by yourself. So at Shibuya City Office, so we can actually get everything done. So for example, at the city office, we can get my number card, certificate of residence, and also we can get personal stamp certificate. So you're mostly ready to incorporate your business with these procedures. And also around Shibuya City Office, we have everything. So this yellow mark in the center is the place that I'm always at, Startup Welcome Service Center. So I'm there. And if we walk about 3 minutes, we have Legal Affairs Bureau, Tax Office, Hello Work, Labor Bureau, sorry, and Pension Office, Notary Office. And if we walk about 5 minutes, we have banks. Mitsui Sumitomo is SMBC, and also Mizuho, two of the top banks in Japan. So we can just like visit there when you're ready to visit. So it's very easy to finish everything at one place. The next question that I often get, do I have to have my office in Shibuya? Possibly, yes, because we support bank account opening process for everybody. And if it's personal bank account, you can open that in the closest branch from your home. But if it's corporate bank account, it has to be opened at the closest branch from your office. So if your office is somewhere outside of Shibuya, then like we are not directly collaborating with that branch. So it's hard to get the like process done. But if it's in Shibuya, we can just like go to the specific branch to support you everything. So we will visit the bank with you, and like if you need translation, we can help. So yeah, if it's possible, I want you to have your office in Shibuya so that we can like get through one of the most difficult parts to start your business, which is bank. So the next topic will be how to change the visa status. By the way, do we have a lot of questions now? Let me see chat. Okay. Is there a requirement for office location? So possibly somewhere within the Shibuya ward, Shibuyaku. So also this presentation, yeah, I can share this with you. So no need to take screenshot every single time. Yeah. Does this apply for NPO too? So to register NPO, like basically the same, but the incorporation process will be very different from the normal like companies, private companies, which is KK, GK. So maybe let's talk about this later. NPO takes almost 6 months to register NPO. So, okay, so I'm gonna talk about how to change the visa status here. So as I mentioned previously, Tokyo Metropolitan Government and still they're offering startup visa, but it is only 6 months. And also the eligibility was only tourist visa holders. So if you are living in Japan and working in Japan, you couldn't apply for the startup visa in Tokyo. But Shibuya and also the other startup cities, we allow working visa holders to change the visa status to startup visa. So if you're already working, but if you're quitting the company and start your own company, we can like support the visa process. Also, the good thing is you don't have to go back to the home countries to change the status. You can just change and start, so which is very great. Yeah, also, so please look at the figures below. So after applying for startup visa, Shibuya will have an interview. It's gonna be 30 minutes interview. And after 1 week, the longest 2 weeks, you will get a proof letter if you pass the interview with Shibuya. And then with the proof letter, you can change the status. And you can change the status at Immigration Bureau by submitting applications. And then you will probably need to wait about 2 to 3 months. But because of the COVID, Immigration Bureau also understands that nobody can go back to the country so easily. So I think Immigration Bureau practically like process the visa application faster for those already living in Japan. So I assume it's gonna be about 2 months of waiting for those already here. And because so one side note will be after you apply for a change of status, you will instantly get 2 extra months because Immigration Bureau needs to do inspection and it's gonna take about a few months. So you will instantly get the extra months. So yeah, while until the expiry date of the 2 extra months, you should be able to get the result, I think. And so basically, after 3 months, you apply for a startup visa, you can start the startup activity as long as you can pass the interview. Okay. And these are all the required documents. And I also put all the links. So if you can click, then you can just get the forms. So yeah, basically these 9 documents. And I won't go deep here, but other documents are always very important for government procedures. So what's these other documents? For example, pitch deck, targeting investments, and also contract with Japanese companies if you're already making some deals with Japanese companies, and also details of the product. So if you already have demo product or a beta version of your app, please show it to us so that we can see your effort to actually make this happen. Also, please attach your fundraising plan because to renew your business manager visa in the future, you really need to have enough fund to sustain your business. So we will appreciate if you can submit the fundraising plan as well. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the process.
Miho, can you
Yeah.
please take a look at the chat because we have a lot of questions about the changing the visa status.
Let me see. Do you have collaboration with real estate partners for subsidized rates on office and home locations in Shibuya? Yes, we are collaborating with real estate agencies, and I'm gonna cover that later. And so, for example, Fukuoka City provides the subsidy for office, I think, but that's gonna take more extra time for the paperwork to apply for the subsidies. So Shibuya decided to get a discount from several real estate agencies, sometimes 6 months free rent, so which is great. So yeah, we have these options. So yeah, if you are curious, please contact us. And regarding sharing the presentation with, oh yeah, sorry, that was direct message, sorry. What about designated activities visa holders? So you should be able to change the status. And I think basically we need to check whether your business will be successful. Startup visa is also under the designated activities visa, and the startup visa is the number 44. If you're bringing spouse as a startup visa holders, the number will be number 45. I don't know which numbers you have, but yeah, I should be able to change the status from different designated activities visa, but we need to check. Okay, so what can you change from dependent visa to startup visa? I would say yes. If you're starting your own startups and if you are having or creating great business plan for that, yes, of course. what are the requirements for renewal of startup visa after 1 year? So it's gonna be the same criteria as what you change your status from your current visa to business manager visa. So I'm gonna talk about the criteria later as well. Can you apply for outside Japan? Yes, of course. Most of the people are applying from outside of Japan. So, okay, we know this one. Excluding the business capital, do you have any recommended amount of money someone should prepare before the start of activities for boss? So basically, you have to sustain your life for the next 12 months. And if your startups do not make any profit or any sales on the first year, then we need to make sure that you will still have 5 million yen capital, and you, if need be, you can invest that cash to the company like before you apply for the business manager visa within the 12 months. So yeah, depending on like what kind of house you are targeting, yeah, or how much expense you need to like spend during the 12 months. There are government grants available for technology startups. Yes, there are, yes, but for like these grants are mainly for those already having a company. So like startup visa holders won't be eligible to apply for this because they are creating the company in the next few months, I assume. So yeah. Can we change back to work visa after the startup visa? Basically, no, because startup visa is for those changing the status to business manager visa in order to start the business for yourself. So basically, no. And if you, for example, if you need to give up the startup idea in any case, then you have to let us know that you change. And also like if you change, then we have to terminate the visa because that startup visa is attached to the activities of startup activity. So if you're going back to work visa, then we need to terminate the visa, but you will have 2 months. Basically, like even if you quit the company, you will have 2 months to stay in Japan because like you need to pack the baggage to go back, and like also you have to book the ticket. So you will all get 2 extra months, but within the 2 months, you have to find another job. And please let us know. We don't want you to just like leave or like change the status. Yeah. Also, this question from Lily: how much longer can we extend that 1 year visa for? Is it for startup visa maybe? So startup visa is basically 6 months plus 6 months. So the period on the residence card will be 6 months, but you can most likely renew as long as you keep doing the startup activities. So you will get the 1 year. And after the 1 year, you will need to change the status to business manager visa. And most likely, all the startup visa holders or like all the founders usually get only 1 year business manager visa because immigration bureau needs to see whether the company is like making sales every day and every month. So basically everybody gets 1 year. And if the business is going well, then they will extend another 1 year. Then if you're continuously operating the business well, then it's gonna be like 3 years, 5 years in the future. I'm not quite understand about startup visa. So startup visa is for individual. Yes. Okay. Does everybody in startup team need to apply for these applications? For example, like a team of 4? The question from, sorry, give me con. Sorry. Yeah. So you can, for example, if you are if you're, how to say, co-founding the company, then like if both of you will be the co-founder, and if both of you are doing, for example, kind of CEO activities, or for example, let's say CTO activities, and then you like it's better to apply for like startup, like you both of you will be enrolled as a like business manager's activities. So as long as your main activity is not the, for example, just engineer, but also if both of you are doing business management activities, then both of you should get the business manager visa. But in that case, both of you need to invest 5 million, 5 million. So like if you wanna save that cost, then my recommendation will be one of you will be the CEO and representative director, and another one like work as an employee of the company. But you can also control with the share. So yeah, thank you for the compliment. And
Maybe Miho, let's proceed and then the rest of the questions afterwards.
non-stop. So okay. So I'm gonna proceed the presentation now. So the process first is you need to submit the application, and please send applications to info@shibuyastartup.tokyo, and we will check everything, and also we reviews, and we will ask you for revise if needed. And I would say most of the applications are revised because like there are so many startups coming, and also we really want you to succeed here. So we might be a bit strict compared to the other cities, but please make sure that we are also making so much effort to make this happen. And after finalizing the application, we will set up the interview date. And interview is gonna be 13 minutes interview with judge, and it's gonna be 10 minutes presentation from the applicants, and another 20 minutes is Q&A. One from Shibuya, another one is from VC. So it's very good chance to train yourself how to pitch in front of the VC. Then within 1 or 2 days, you will get the result. And if you cannot pass this time, if you think you can like revise the plan, if you can improve your plan, then like please feel free to reapply again. Like we want you to succeed again. So yeah. And process number 2. So after Shibuya approved, we have to get COE, certificate of eligibility. So after Shibuya accepts, Shibuya will prepare a proof letter to apply for a startup visa for Immigration Bureau. And we will make sure that the letter will be available within, let's say, a week. We will do our best. And then you have to submit the COE applications with that proof letter from Shibuya to Tokyo Immigration Bureau. Sorry, but please visit Shinagawa. And if you really don't want to visit there, then you can outsource that to immigration specialist, and I can recommend a good one for you. And then you will need to wait for about 2 to 3 months. Then if Immigration Bureau issues your COE, then you can actually get the residence card. And if so, this information is about for those living abroad. So you like after getting the COE, you have to the person getting the COE in Japan need to mail that to your address in abroad. And with the COE, you will need to visit the Japanese embassy in your home country. Then you will need to get the visa from the embassy. And with the visa, you land Japan with your passport. Then you can start getting, you can get the residence card at the airport. Yeah, so this is for those living outside. And if you are already living in Japan, the process will be after, so it's not the certificate of eligibility as you are aware. So you will need to apply for a change of status. And then like as soon as immigration accepts the change of status, then you will go back to the Shinagawa Immigration Bureau, then get the residence card. Yeah. So process 3. Yeah, sorry. So with your visa, you will land Japan. And at the airport, if you're from abroad, you can get a residence card. And it's gonna be designated activity 44. And for your spouse, and if you have kids, then they will get designated activity 45. But if you need to bring them, you will also need to apply for their COE as well. So please let us know beforehand. And as soon as you get the residence card, the first thing you need to do is register your address at the city office. And the address will be printed on the back side of your residence card. Then you will need to enroll pension and also health insurance. And with the health insurance, 70% of your medical fee will be covered. So please enroll. And then after that, you can finally start the startup activities. And timeline of entry, if you're abroad right now. So in Japan, you will have interview and also proof letter and everything what I just mentioned. And then it's gonna be like this timeline. So after 3 months of applying for startup visa, I assume you can start the activities. And on your side, in overseas, you have to visit the embassies. And with the COVID, I have no idea when Japan can open the borders. So last year, while Japan was closing the border, no COE application was processed. But so for example, some of my American friends, usually they can get the visa within at least 2 months, the longest 2 months, but it took 6 months to just get the work permit. So it might delayed, but let's see. Let's hope it's gonna open soon. Then, okay, so I am going to talk about the each steps, and if there is any questions, I will try to answer. Okay, so from Tanya, if I received a startup visa in Fukuoka last year, already changed to business manager visa, and I plan to co-found a new venture in Shibuya while maintaining my own company in Fukuoka. Can I get the support from Shibuya Startup Center too? Yes. So if you're launching in Shibuya, of course, and you will not need any you will not need startup visa, but yeah, because you can just operate everything as a business manager now. But yeah, of course, if you are launching the business or office in Shibuya, we will of course help the bank account set up. And yeah, also finding the office space if you need be. Yes. So Andrew, oh, so many. How long does this process take to apply? My current designated activities visa is only for 2 more months unless it is possible to apply for an extension. So it depends on what kind of designated activities you have, I would say. But as long as you have a great business plan, you can just apply now, I mean tomorrow. Then we can process. So the process of applying for startup visa will take the time that you edit or revise your applications, plus interview, and plus the time that Shibuya government prepares the proof letter. So yeah, as long as your application is perfect, then I would say the process is gonna take, I would say 2 weeks. And yeah, after 2 weeks, you can, if you pass the interview, you can go to immigration and change the status. Should we have an initial 5 million yen to invest in a startup just for life up to 12 months from year sum? So basically, yes, because startup always needs to pivot. And also we have no idea how we need to secure status. And so we will be relieved if you can show us the bank account with 5 million yen, because whatever happens, we are sure that you can invest that money to change the status to business manager visa. Yeah. So the next is from Jane. So other than the interview, does Shibuya help provide chances to pitch sponsors? So we are collaborating with several corporate partners, and we are trying to increase the number of the collaborators now. So yes, but like for these questions, I want you to send a pitch deck first, because like corporate partners often have specific needs of what kind of project they wanna like work on. So if we see the synergy, of course, we can directly connect. But we need to check what kind of idea you have and like what kind of support you're looking for from the corporate sponsors. Yeah. So from Kiran, can we raise capital inside Japan for startups? Yes, there are tons of VCs here. So yeah, as long as you create a pitch deck and like if you specifically show the fundraising plan for them, I'm sure you can try to raise fund here. And from Thomas, is there a minimum amount of sales for Japan-based expenditures expected in the first year, or more based on having the necessary capital in the bank after 1 year? So we don't expect any startups to making sales from the first year. So it's okay to not having any sales on the first year. But I'm gonna talk about this later, like when I talk about business manager visa. But you have to make profit within the 3 years. So like we have to make sure that you will have enough cash to sustain the business and sustain your life until you start making profit. From Yarzan, do you take any equity or stocks for your health? Not, no. Or not yet. Yeah. Okay. So from Nathaniel, if I have a US company, can I set up a branch office under this program? You can set up the branch, but practically, if you set up the branch, you cannot open the bank account under the branch. So basically, everybody usually goes to like KK, 株式会社, which is in stock company, or GK. GK is easier. So if you're thinking about like just branch, then I recommend you to go with GK structure. And so many. So from Adish, sorry. So are there tax concessions for startups? So Shibuya doesn't have any like tax deduction for startups yet, but Tokyo government offers, for example, angel tax relief. So if you're getting some angel investment from angel investors, then angel investors will get some tax benefit and your company will get some tax benefit. But this is the METIS program, Ministry of Industry, Economy, Trade Economy. So yeah, we need to check, but like they are creating several programs to like make sure that investment will flourish in this country. So yeah, there should be more programs. I will cut now. Sorry, I'm gonna proceed with the presentation.
Right. That's the right decision.
Yeah. Okay. So real estate agencies. So how do we help? So to real estate agencies, we need temporary housing and office, and also like after the temporary housing, most likely if you are from abroad, you have to have a 14 days of quarantine period. But after that, of course, everybody wants to move into a comfortable housing. Yeah. So so my recommendation and recommendation from real estate agency side is please pick just like Airbnb or any kinds of service apartment or monthly apartment at first, because like without seeing the residence card, they cannot offer anything basically. This is what they said. So you have to book some like this apartment, and as soon as you land Japan, you will have the residence card, but also you have to self-quarantine for 14 days. So at the end of self-quarantine period, you can communicate with some real estate agencies and you can start looking for some housing for yourself. And it seems like you have only 1 month like to actually decide which housing to choose after you sign the contract and finding guarantor and paying key money deposit. So I will recommend you to start looking for the apartment from the week 3 after you land Japan. And then like as soon as you find the best apartment for yourself, then start signing and like also pay all the deposit and everything. And after second month, you can start finding office space as long as you're settled in a comfortable housing. And yeah, we collaborate with WeWork, the Hype Jinan, H1O, PMO. I pasted the link, so please look at this. And also some co-working spaces offered by Tokyo. And as everybody know, WeWork and also the Hype Jinan has great bilingual staff, English speakers. So yeah, it will be very nice. And H1O and also PMO, we collaborating and they offer 6 months free rent. So if you're interested in, yeah, also, yeah, please look at this website. And the important note is for the next 12 months after you apply for startup visa, it can be a virtual office because like there is no criteria of like renewing startup visa. So you don't have to have a dedicated office space when you renew your startup visa after 6 months. But within 12 months, you have to change the status to business manager visa. And when you apply for business manager visa, you have to have a dedicated office space. So my recommendation will be there are some office space, for example, 6 months free rent or this like nice office space. So you can start using the office virtually if you need some office space aside from your house. Then right before you apply for business manager visa, please either upgrade the plan to dedicated office space or please like relocate the office space to dedicated office space in order to pass the business manager application. Yeah. So, yeah, we collaborate with these guys right now, and we are trying to increase the number. Then, get your smartphone and enroll national pension insurance. So, just quickly, when you need to enroll social insurance, the basic national insurance, basically you need to show your My Number card, sometimes certificate of residence, and then yeah, if you're already enrolling a social insurance in abroad, then you can also use exemption system because you don't have to like duplicate everything. Like you can just like pay to your home country and you can kind of pen enrolling the social insurance system in Japan. So yeah, you can use this system. Also, if you're a startup, I think like we don't get paid anything on that first year, I think. So if your salary is too low or if you are not getting any income, you can also use exemption system. So yeah, these are all based on your status. So we need to check, but yeah, I'm sure many of you can also use this exemption system. And if we have any questions, we can just visit our pension insurance office and ask. Yeah, and to get cell phone, as long as I discuss with some major cell phone company, seems like you just need a residence card with over 3 months period of time. So most all the startup visa holders should be able to get a cell phone and Japanese number here. And also you can use your credit card, and maybe it depends on the cell phone agency. But what I heard from them is as long as the name on the credit card is the same as the cell phone user, you can use the credit card. So it doesn't have to be Japanese credit card, but I also want to know your like feedback and your experience. Maybe yeah, there might be something that I still don't know. So I'm gonna just quickly go with the incorporation process. So just read this blog and you know everything. So the first one was written by Maxim. Yeah, he wrote a very like detail of how to establish a company. And also please read Sasha's blog as well. And like this is the first blog that she wrote, I guess. Like she's writing so many blogs, but if you read this, like you know all the basics of like what you have to do. So please go through this blog. And also I got too many questions about incorporation, so I just wrote a full guide to launch a company. So this is not detailed like Maxim, but you can still go through and like see what kind of process you have to take. And overall cost, this is important, is usually including immigration processes. I negotiated with some lawyers and immigration specialists. If you're launching KK by yourself, it's gonna be like below 300,000 yen. And if you're hiring a script nurse, it's gonna be about 564,000 yen. If it's GK by yourself, it's gonna be about 141,000 yen. And hiring a script nurse is gonna be 424,000 yen. And immigration process is a bit expensive because that's very time consuming. Yeah. So incorporation. So how it's different to launch a KK and GK. So KK includes notarization process, but GK doesn't need to notarize anything. So the paperwork that you have to work on is almost the same, but and you will need to create like articles of incorporation, which is kind of like a rule book or constitution of the company. And yeah, you have to also create articles of incorporation for GK, regardless of notarizing it or not. And if it's KK, you have to go to notary office after that to get notarized. And after the notarization, you will need to transfer the capital to the bank account. It's gonna be the initial capital that you put for your company. And please note that don't put 1 yen. Under the law, you can start a company with 1 yen, but if it's only 1 yen, no banks will allow you to open a bank account. So please put, I would say, about at least 1 million yen. If it's 1 million yen, I think it's very secure amount to talk with bank, I think. After transferring the capital to your account, then visit Legal Affairs Bureau, then you will officially register your company. And Legal Affairs Bureau also wants to inspect your documents, so they will need at least 1 to 2 weeks to review the documents, and then done. So this is basically everything. So like I talked about the overall cost on the last slide, but this is a specific detail of the like breakdown of the cost for each procedures. So as long as you're usually, if you directly apply to business manager visa, immigration specialists usually take about $3,000, so about 300,000 yen for the processes. But since you've already filed most of the documents when you apply for a startup visa, for example, you've already got business plan, you've already got financial forecast, so it's gonna be like less. It's gonna be about half. And always HANKO first. So Japan like HANKO. So still like they say most of the HANKO procedures will be abolished, but still they use HANKO. So when you start working on the articles of incorporation procedures, first of all, you have to have your personal HANKO. And it seems like many people say they got HANKO in Don Quixote, so you can get that there. And personal HANKO, yes. And before you go to Legal Affairs Bureau, you must have a corporate HANKO. So yeah, this HANKO will be the key for like doing this incorporation. So please prepare it. Yeah. Okay. And also, after you notarize, you will register the company. And if you are registering KK, it's gonna cost 150,000 yen for the registration cost, just for the government fee. It's not the fee for consultants. And you have to buy these small stamps, which cost in total 150,000 yen. So please do not lose these expensive stamps in the world. Yeah. Okay, so the last thing will be enrolling corporate pension health insurance under your company. It's different from the national pension and insurance. And to get this covered, you will need basically the same same documents. So my number card, and also like it's gonna be corporate social insurance system. So the amount will be depending on how much remuneration you are getting in Japan, how much salary you are getting. And you will need to enroll this to cover 70% of the medical fee. So for, yeah, in case you get injured, let's get enrolled. And payment will be every single month. So the pension office will send a bill to your company address. So you just need to process it based on what they send. And a little bit about taxation. So usually December, we all need to pay withholding tax. So everybody will pay this tax. So in December, please note that you have to pay some kind of tax. Also, if it's company, you will have a fiscal year, which is like a financial year. And usually within 2 months of like you close the financial year, you have to pay corporate tax, as we all know. And if it's like, if the, how to say, there is special calculation, but in an easy way, I would say if the profit is of up to 8 million Japanese yen, then the rate will be 15%. And if it's over 8 million yen, the profit is over 8 million yen, then it's gonna be 23.2%. If it's SME, most of you will apply either like 15% or 23.2%. And there will be corporate residential tax regardless of making profit or not, and the minimum of 70,000 yen. There will be the other taxes, for example, corporate business tax, local corporate tax, consumption tax, and like, but main tax that you need to pay is usually withholding and also corporate tax. Yeah. Okay. So before going to this like visa process, if we get question, I want to answer. Let's see. Florian. So similar question as just asked by Nathaniel. My company wants me to open a subsidiary in Japan, so the startup visa would be good to get to know the market and find out whether our business model works. Would it still qualify as a startup? Yes, because I think you need to test the new, market, which is Japanese market. So this is also, IT consulting. So it is, that category falls under the information technology. So I think it is qualified. But if your company in the home country is very, for example, big, huge, and like if they are having already good financial record in the past, then I think just applying for business manager visa might process everything faster for you, because like startup visa is just a designated activities. But if it's business manager visa, usually all the real estate agencies and like everybody is like usually like, okay, business manager visa, okay, you have the status, go for it. So to negotiate with anything, I think it might be easier for you to just go with business manager visa. So is Rakuten one of the business partners? I don't think not. It's not yet the partner of Shibuya, but let me confirm. They're keep adding the corporate partners. So yeah. So Shantapu, like setting up the startups company in Singapore, supposing we are based in another country, can we set up a startup headquartered in Japan and carry on business without physically being present there? So it's like, e-residency kind of thing. I mean, so legally, you can launch a company in Japan without physically staying here. You can outsource all the procedures to a judicial scriveners when you launch a company, and you can just set up the company without physically being here. If I'm answering correctly. Yeah. So is there any support in finding co-founders or core team? Let's say take co-founder, designer, product manager. We are trying to collaborate with several tech communities like the Wagon or different kinds of tech communities. So yeah, we are getting help from tons of communities, but yeah, we are trying to make sure that you can find the co-founders. They are working on it right now. So how much is withholding tax? So usually if you're employing contractor, if the if the payment is less than 1 million yen, it's gonna be 10.21%. If it's over 1 million yen, then it's gonna be 20.42%. If it's attached to salary, it's depending on how much salary they are getting. So there is specific calculation sheet for that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, also, sorry, for those trying to launch a subsidiary or branch, then Sasha, thank you. So they might be they might be eligible to get an intra-company transfer visa, which is like if they already have a headquarter, then like the headquarter can send a employee as long as they are working for that headquarter for over 1 year, they can send that person to research market in Japan, for example. And you can also get the intra-company transfer visa. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Sasha. Yeah. So let me see. Let's go with the Ricardo. So what's approximate total amount of money that someone needs to prepare in advance to apply for the startup visa? It seems that it's more than 5 million yen. So yeah, I would say yes. If as long as you're not generating any sales, yeah, the cost will be 5 million yen plus your housing fee plus like the registration cost for the company. So yeah. Sorry, it's already 8, but I'm gonna quickly finish this presentation first. Okay. Yeah, so let's talk about how to renew visa quickly. And you can start renewing or change the visa 3 months before the second 6 months of startup visa period. So yeah, I attached also the link for what you need. And basically you will, so there are so many applications that you need to prepare, but you will get all these documents when you incorporate your business. So no need to worry, as long as you're doing everything right, you will get everything. Yeah. Okay, so tips to get longer visa period. So this is very important. So this is a kind of trick that Immigration Bureau has. So there are 4 categories. 1, publicly listed company, a big company, maybe Rakuten already is like a huge company. Category 2, companies paying over 10 million yen withholding tax every year. So I mentioned for a contractor, for example, it's gonna be 10% of the the payment. So we can assume that if the company is paying over 100 million yen of salary every year for the employee, then most likely the company will be fit into category 2. So you can see from the number of the employee and like you can maybe guess. And category 3 is the companies with financial record plus tax payment record. So if you have filed a tax return or in the past, then it's gonna be category 3. And if it's category 4, category 4 is basically startups without having any financial record in the past. And the tips to get longer visa period for business manager visa is try to become category 2. It's very different. After category 3, the inspection period is usually 2 to 3 months. But if it's category 2, you can sometimes get the visa in 2 weeks if it's very fast. Also, please make sure that your company makes profit. And then also, according to some immigration specialists, practically, if your company starts generating over 10 million yen Japanese yen revenue every year, they tend to get 3-year visa instead of 1 year. So this is a kind of benchmark for your business, I think. Yeah. So also, yeah, according to Immigration Bureau, they see the sustainability of your business to decide how long visa period to offer. So according to their criteria, your business is sustainable if your company has profit, no deficit, and insolvent for less than a year. And if your financial is negative, please create a business plan with CPA, Certified Public Accountant. The Immigration Bureau thinks that's the plus point because they can easily see that you're trying to improve the financial status for your company. And the blue one is important. So the business is not sustainable if the financial is negative for 2 years in a row. And also if the insolvent for over a year, or if the sales is smaller than cost of goods sold, then they think it's not sustainable. And if there is no gross margin for 2 years in a row, they also think that's not sustainable. So please make sure that you will make a profit. And also we are making sure that your company will be profitable within the, let's say, 2 years, the longest. So this is everything from my side. Sasha, is it okay to answer to the question?
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Manso, the cost you mentioned earlier, 564,000, that covers consultation and immigration cost. Let me confirm. I assume so. So there are so many expensive consultants, I know. So I try to find a cheap but good consultants. Yes, I included everything and it's gonna be discussed. Yeah. But if you're, for example, like offering some, I don't know, stock options to the employees, and like if the contract gets too complicated, of course you will additionally need the fee. But if you're like launching the business as a like solo entrepreneur, I would say this is the cost that you need to pay. Yes. So I think I answered almost everything. The last is maybe Mashari. Thank you for the question. What about the tour operator? Does it have a startup visa? Based on what they do. So if the tour operator is the representative director of the company, or if that person is doing business management activities, then he or she should have a business manager visa. So like before that, they can have a startup visa. Yeah, I think the other question is direct message, I guess. So I hope I answered everything if I didn't miss. Yeah. Yes, so.
Cool. Yeah, I think that a couple of questions were repeating itself. And the guys, I shared also the link to Shibuya Welcome Service in the chat, the LinkedIn one. So feel free to subscribe because all the information, all the useful guides and tutorials and updates will be posted there. So instead of waiting and searching for the information, just subscribe and see what is the latest things out there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and joining us. Oh my God, we have so many questions in the chat. So I think we also have one question from Rajesh about can dependent parent mother join in Japan? I think Miho answered this question. Yes, dependents can join a startup visa holder in Japan, but they need to apply for dependent visa before, right?
Yeah, that's right. And this case, if it's mother, it's a bit complicated. So if it's kids or spouse, yes, the designated activity number 45. But if it's mom, it's depending on like why the mom needs to come to Japan. So it's kind of very strict. But according to immigration law, you have to explain like why your mom needs to come. For example, if you have a kids and like if you're too busy and like if your mom needs to come to take care of your kids, then like that could be the answer. But it's completely depending on the circumstance that you are in. Mm.
Thank you, Miho. I thought probably if I understand it correctly, Miho, correct me if I'm wrong. So the getting the visa consists of two parts. The first is directly communicating with Shibuya City, pitching the plan and getting approval letter. And then the second part, which is not related to Shibuya City, and this is something that they can give you tips, but they cannot help you, to convince immigration, because of course it's up to you what kind of the documents and what kind of the arguments you submit to them. It's completely up to you. Is that correct, Miho? Or do you?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically, yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Sasha. And usually, startup visa process is not too difficult as long as Shibuya accepts, because we are reviewing so much. I mean, like I would say a bit strict, but like, so the immigration bureau will be also like relieved if the application is from Shibuya, because they've already passed so many like inspection process under Shibuya. But when you change the status to business manager visa, we will support the application process, but we are no longer involved in the inspection or reviewing process. I mean, like we can review, but the judgment is only under immigration bureau. So when you change the status, yeah, like we cannot guarantee anything. It's solely directed by immigration bureau. So yeah, thank you for the clarification, Sasha.
Cool. Thank you so much, Miho. As usual, very amazing presentation. So many details. I'm pretty sure that the people got so many useful insights from it. Yeah, you answered a lot of questions today. お疲れ様でした。
ありがとうございました。
Yeah, for the guys, so this project is kind of new project that Shibuya City started just recently. I think that the March they officially announced this project. So of course there are many things that probably we will experience for the first time, but this is very unique opportunity for you to use this advantage of the startup visa and apply right now while there are not so many applications so far. So the guys still have some time to process it. So I recommend you to apply as soon as possible. And the reply will be right now. The time for the reply will be short, while maybe after a couple of months, the Shibuya City will get a lot of applicants and the response time will become a bit longer. And Mansoor is asking about where we can apply.
Sign up. Yeah, that's me. So send the pink the like ping me on the info at Shibuya Startup Tokyo, I guess, this email address.
Or here, just again, I'm sharing the link to the website.
Thank you so much.
You can like you can submit where contact form, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, please, yeah, contact from the contact form.
Guys, please don't send incomplete applications to Miho. It will definitely take a lot of your time. So I really recommend you first to go to the website, check all the applications, get prepared with all the documents, and then send the message to Miho. Your application will be processed much more faster.
Yes.
So I know you're super polite and you really want to accommodate people's needs. So I'm not Japanese. I will do very, you know, honest and direct feedback here.
That's very, yeah, helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
Great, cool. Thank you so much, everyone. Miho, of course, thank you so much to you. And so for those of you who are wondering about the recording, I'm gonna post the link to it in the meetup group. And also you can search in the YouTube the name of today's workshop, maybe in a couple of days. So it will be posted on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming, and good evening for those who are in Japan and Asian zone, and good morning and afternoon for those based in different time zones. It was nice to have you all. Feel free to let us know questions if you have any. We are our personal LinkedIn accounts, and looking forward to seeing you at our other events. Cool. お疲
Cool.
れ様でした。
Thank you so much for organizing, Sasha.
Yay, bye.
Bye.